Alright, so I think this might be the most requested build guide I've gotten so far. It's either this or Hoshina for the 4-star units, and that's because this Mina and the 4-star Hoshina are actually insane when it comes to buffing. They are just like straight up the best buff characters in the game, at least until we get like a better 5-star buffer. Right now, all the 5 stars though, they're not bad. They're just doing other things. They're like attacking or defending. They're not really buffers, right? But that's kind of good because that gives us a reason to use 4-star characters. So today we're going to be talking about how you should build Mina to maximize her potential on your team so that she is giving the best possible buffs to your team as frequently as possible. That is the key, as frequently as possible. So we're going to talk about what weapon is best to run on her, specifically which Unipart set is good to run on her. This is key. Whether or not you should ascend her to 1 dupes, 2 dupes, 3 dupes, so on and so forth. What skills you want to upgrade first, and then of course what team she could be run on. Honestly, pretty much any team. I'll tell you right now, I really don't even have to show you guys teams because she can be run on any team, but I'll show you guys an example of at least 1 or 2 teams that she can be run on. So with that said, let's get into the weapons. You do have, in my mind, 2 choices for weapons. The first one is this 4-star weapon right here. This is going to be the one most readily available to everybody. This is going to be the one most people are running on her. So it is going to be the AR Panther 33. And so what this is going to do, and keep in mind percentages can change depending on what you have for the Ascension stage and whatnot, but effect resist plus 19.5%. After the equipped unit activates ultimate, applies damage dealt plus 6.9% for 2 turns to all allies. This is huge because this is a character that is largely spending her time buffing other allies. So because of that, any more additional damage you can add to your allies with this character is going to be huge. That is why this is the weapon you want to run on her, because she is an AR character, and this is going to allow you to give even more damage to your allies than you already are with your skills. So keep that in mind. Now, besides this weapon, there is technically a better option. It is still technically a free-to-play option, albeit it's hard to obtain, okay? It is more endgame content that you gotta get to. But if you go to the shop and you go to the Proof of Valor menu, I have shown you guys this menu many times in other build guides, and you go to the AR Hyperion. This was also an option for Reno, right? But this is gonna work so much better on Mina if you happen to get it, because what this does is at the start of battle applies speed plus 4% for 3 turns to all allies. That includes yourself. It's always good when a supporter has speed, that way they're going to get faster turns and go before the other allies, being able to buff those allies, right? So this is going to be really, really good in general, extra speed for all allies. And then after the equipped unit activates ultimate, applies attack plus 6% for 2 turns to all allies as well. So another buff for allies, a very good option. So those are kind of your 2 options for weapons on the 4-star Mina, the AR Hyperion or the 4-star AR Panther 33. Those are the 2 things you're going to want to run. Now, as for the Unipart set, you are going to want to run the Wyvern Unipart set. This is the best possible set you can run on a support character because of the speed boost. The speed percentage up is actually huge because, once again, I just said this a second ago, you want your support character going before any other character in the rotation, if at all possible. That way you're able to buff the unit that you want to do extra damage, right? If you get this set completed, you're going to get speed plus 8%. That percentage, once again, all these percentages can change depending on where you're at in the set. Effect resist plus 17.9%. After activating combat skill, applies attack plus 9.9% for 1 turn to all allies. So that is huge because your combat skill is already a buff, and then whenever you activate that buff for an ally, you also are going to give additional attack to all allies of 9.9%. So that's really, really good. Also, if you're able to, when re-rolling these sets, right, you can take a look at the different things for them. But you're going to want to go for the best possible thing you can get. So speed right here is really, really good. Healing multiplier, in my opinion, on this particular piece is not going to be super good on Mina. Realistically, this is something I'm going to re-roll and try to okay, well, I have to keep it now. Try to get something else, but I'm gonna keep the 5-star there, of course. So if I run a healer on the team, right, it's gonna help Mina to heal a little bit more, which isn't the worst thing, but like just keep in mind you want to pick the optimal effects for your character overall on the Unipart set. And then if we get into Ascension, the Ascension's actually interesting for this character. So at dupe 1, after defeating a Kaiju with the ultimate, advances the unit's next action order by 20%. Honestly, not that great because you really shouldn't be doing all that much damage with this character on the ultimate. Like, it'll do a decent amount, but the main purpose of this character is to buff other characters, right? So other characters are going to be doing the damage. So this is okay. Her dupe 2, turn duration of attack buff applied by passive skill +1. That is insanely good because right now, as it is, her passive skill only endures for 1 turn. So now if you can add another turn to it, this becomes insanely good. So getting her to 2 dupes, I would say, is a must if you want to maximize this character. Like, an absolute must. You can't say like, oh, I got no dupes, it's fine. No, 2 dupes is where you want to be minimum. This is very, very good for this character. At 3 dupes, it's the same for every character. Normal attack, follow-up skill, level +2 and max level +2. At dupe 4, effect amount of damage dealt buff and combat skill damage dealt buff applied by morale +5%. This is very big because it's going to give you a lot of extra damage. So getting her dupe 4 is optimal. That's kind of where you want to be. That's really, really good. But at the bare minimum, you need dupe 2, right? So keep that in mind. At dupe 5, you're going to get combat skill, ultimate, and passive skill level +2 and max level +2. And then at dupe 6, while morale is applied to an ally, this unit's ultimate shot damage dealt +15%. I literally don't care about this. Dupe 6 literally does not matter. So it's either go for dupe 2 or go for dupe 4. I would say at bare minimum, though, you want dupe 2. Okay, so that's where you want to end up on this 4-star Mina's Ascension. Overall, let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments. With that said, on to the skills. We're going to start with the additional passive skills, and then we'll talk about her normal attack, combat skill, ultimate, follow-up skill, and passive skill. And I'll tell you which one of those things I think you guys should be upgrading first and which one you should be upgrading second, so on and so forth. So getting her to level 40 is going to give this unit effect resist +15%. I mean, giving her the ability to survive more as a 4-star unit buffer is always good. I'll take it, right? And then at dupe, or not dupe, at level 60, after attacking a core exposed Kaiju, this unit's ultimate gauge +17. Literally don't care about that. And then if you get her to level limit 80, after activating combat skill, apply speed +20 to this unit. You absolutely need to get her to level 80 for this because this is freaking huge. Getting her more speed is always, always, always good on a support character like this, okay? So keep that in mind. And then her normal attack deals shot damage equal to 55% of this unit's attack to a single Kaiju. Really don't care about that. Her skill 2 or combat skill is very important. Applies morale for 3 turns to a single ally. Morale targets, gives the target, your ally, damage dealt +21.6% and combat skill damage dealt +21.6% as well. That is a huge buff, and that's at level 3. If you enhance the skill even further, it's just going to get better and better, right? Then the ultimate, if an ally has morale, this attack's ultimate damage multiplier +55% and damage dealt +13.7%. Deal shot penetration damage equal to 105% of this unit's attack to a single Kaiju. Once again, I don't really care. She's not a damage dealer. Like, she'll do damage, but that's not her primary function here, so I don't really care about upgrading the ultimate. Her follow-up skill, deal shot damage equal to 55% of this unit's attack to a single Kaiju. And then her passive skill, after activating normal attack or ultimate, applies attack +40.8% for 1 turn to this unit and allies that have been applied with morale. So that's going to give your allies an additional boost, but it's only for 1 turn, unless you get her duped out. Like I was saying, if you get her duped out, this turns into 2 turns and it becomes so much better, that additional attack. However, overall, if I was to say like which one you should be upgrading first, it was so hard for me to decide, but I think overall the skill 2 is going to be better for you to upgrade first because of you can stack the damage dealt with the combat skill damage. So when you're doing a combat skill, you're effectively doing 42% right there extra damage. Like, that's actually huge. And then I would upgrade the passive skill next, where you're going to get the extra 40% damage, right? So overall, I would say upgrade skill 2 first, then your passive skill. After that, I really don't care. It does not matter which skill you upgrade next. Realistically, it should probably be the ultimate because it gives you a little bit of extra damage. But once again, I'm not worried about damage. And then for the normal attack or follow-up skill, do whichever one you want. So once again, just to reiterate, you're going to go for the skill 2 first, combat skill. That's what you want to upgrade first. Then you upgrade the passive. Then you upgrade the ultimate, and then it does not matter if you do normal or follow-up skill for the upgrade next. And that is pretty much everything you need to know to maximize your 4-star Mina's potential. Last but not least, let me show you guys just an example of a team. Here's an example of a team that Mina could be run on. The idea is you're going to use Mina as a buffer pretty much for Reno. Reno's going to be able to hit some insane numbers. Then you have Gen here for the additional ability to take out certain types of plates. You have Isao here for the ability to defend your units and keep your units alive. Specifically your buffer Mina, you're going to want to keep her alive, right? So this is a pretty decent team to run her on, especially if you're trying to take on like boss fights or stuff like that. So maybe you want to take on a raid battle, right? She'd be potentially very good on a team like this. Now this team isn't necessarily going to score super high at a raid battle because you're taking turns where you could be getting rid of plates to now buff yourself and defend yourself with the 2 characters on the left, right? But overall, it's still not a bad team, not a bad option. And just keep in mind, the teams I show in these build guides are not the only option. You can run pretty much Mina on any team you want, so just keep that in mind. But that is it for the build guide. If you enjoyed the video, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. Peace.